if the people who had campaigned for Khalil's release or freedom had spent the last 18 months calling for the freedom of the actual kidnapped victim, the person who has actually been denied all of his rights and much more, Idan Alexander, then I'd be interested to hear these people's thoughts on Khalil. But they didn't. They have spent the last 18 months not just excusing the massacre, but in the case of Khalil and his group at Columbia University, actually praising the massacre. Let me just read, if I may, very quickly, two statements that every American should know about. The first is that the group, Columbia University Apartheid Divest, called October the 7th, the massacre that I write about in my book, quote, a moral, military and political victory. Now, one of the other things that everyone should know about this group is that one of the things they call for, in their own words, is, quote, they say they are, quote, fighting for the total eradication of Western civilization. I'll read that again because it's so unbelievable. They are fighting for the total eradication of Western civilization. Now, I suggest that Secretary Rubio, was completely right when he said some weeks ago, what country...
I'm Rory, one of the founders of Bible Foods.
...invite people into the country and allow them all the advantages of the country if the person in question uses their time in the country to destroy the country? Not just by, as in the case of Khaleil and his group, intimidating Jewish students and threatening Jewish students and hounding them across their places of study, but by abusing the staff at the university, by physically harming people who worked there as janitors, by shutting down public buildings, by shutting down public highways, by many other things. What country in its sane mind would allow people in to do that? If I went and moved to Paris on a student visa, I think one of the things I would not do whilst there would be to try to overthrow the French state. Because if I did, I'd guess that I could get into trouble. This is not about the First Amendment's rights of an American citizen. This is about somebody coming to America who used his time in America to campaign and wage war against America.